அவையோர் அனைவருக்கும் அகமகிழ் வணக்கங்கள். இன்றைய ஸ்கில் டெவலப்பர் எனும் பயிற்சி மையம் முதல் நிகழ்வாக இந்த மாணவர்களுக்கு மென்திறன் பயிற்சிகளை வழங்குவது தொடர்பான பல்வேறு திறன்கள் தொடர்பான தொடர் நிகழ்வுகளை புதன்கிழமை தோறும் நடத்த இருக்கிறது. அந்த வகையிலே முதல் நிகழ்வாக இன்றைக்கு நம்மோடு அண்ணாமலை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தினுடைய திறன் மேம்பாட்டு பயிற்சி மையத்தினுடைய இணை இயக்குனர் ஐயா பிராங்க் சுனில் ஜஸ்டிஸ் அவர்கள் நம்மோடு இணைந்திருக்கிறார்கள் சிதம்பரத்திலிருந்து. இன்றைக்கு நமக்கு கிடைத்திருக்கும் பெரும் பேறு என்றுதான் கருத வேண்டும். முதல் நிகழ்வாக மிகச் சிறப்பாக மாணவர்களோடு எளிமையாக பழகக்கூடிய அன்பாளர், அனைவருக்கும் வழிகாட்டியாக இருக்கும் நல்ல மனிதர். நாம் இன்று கேட்க போகும் சிறப்புரையை வழங்க இருக்கும் முனைவர் திரு பிராங்க் சுனில் ஜஸ்டிஸ் ஐயா அவர்கள் ரசாயன பொறியாளராக தன் பணி அனுபவத்தை 10 ஆண்டுகள் தொடர்ந்து நிறைவு செய்தவர். அண்ணாமலை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் புது பரிமாணமாக விரிவுரையாளராக தனது பணியை துவக்கி 10 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு மேலாக பணியாற்றி தற்போது இணை பேராசிரியராக பணியாற்றி வருகிறார்கள். மிகுந்த ஆய்வு நோக்கோடும் மாணவர்களுக்கு உதவும் அன்பு ஆசிரியராக மாணவர் உள்ளங்களில் மிக எளிதாக இடம் பிடிக்கக்கூடிய பண்பாளர், எப்பொழுதும் புன்னகைக்கும் குணம் கொண்டவர், சினம் கூட குணமாகத்தான் அவருடைய வார்த்தைகளில் வெளிப்படும் அப்படின்னு நான் அனைவரிடமும் சொல்லும் வழக்கம் உண்டு ஐயா அவர்களை பற்றி கேட்கும் போது. இப்படி 10க்கும் மேற்பட்ட மாணவர்களுக்கு முனைவர் பட்ட ஆய்வை மேற்கொள்வதற்கான நெறியாளராக ஐயா உதவியுள்ளார். விளம்பரப்படுத்துதல் மேலாண்மை, அதாவது அட்வர்டைசிங் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், அப்புறம் ஆர்கனைசேஷனல் பிஹேவியர், ஹியூமன் ரிசோர்ஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட், மார்க்கெட்டிங், இப்படி பல்வேறு துறை சார்ந்த மிக தேர்ச்சியான ஆராய்ச்சி அறிவையும் பல்வேறு ஆய்வு கட்டுரைகளையும் எழுதியுள்ளவர். 100க்கும் மேற்பட்ட பதிப்புகளை தன்னுடைய பணிக்காலத்தில் செய்து வருகிறார். அதாவது பப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் 100க்கு மேல போடுறது அப்படின்னா ஒரு பப்ளிகேஷன் நாலேஜ் அப்படிங்கறதே மிகப்பெரிய விஷயம். அந்த வகையில பல்வேறு ஆராய்ச்சி கட்டுரைகளை ஐயா அவர்கள் எழுதியிருக்கிறார்கள். சர்வதேச பப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ்க்காக, இன்டர்நேஷனல் பப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ்க்காக இப்படி பல்வேறு சாதனையை புரிந்து வருகிற ஐயா அவர்கள் தற்போது அண்ணாமலை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தினுடைய திறன் மேம்பாட்டு அமைப்பினுடைய இணை இயக்குனராக இருக்கிறார் என்பது மிக குறிப்பிடத்தக்க செய்தி. இன்றைக்கு சிறப்புரையாற்ற இருக்கும் ஐயா அவர்களை வரவேற்றதில் பெருமகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். பல்வேறு மாணவர்கள், பல்வேறு பகுதிகளில் இருந்து அரசு மாணவர்கள், அரசு பள்ளி மாணவர்கள், கல்லூரி மாணவர்கள் என்று பல்வேறு மாணவர்கள் இணைந்திருக்கிறீர்கள். அனைவரையும் வருக வருக என வரவேற்பதில் பெருமகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். அத்தோடு கலந்துரையாடல் சொந்தங்களும் என்னுடைய நட்பு வட்டத்திலிருந்தும் பல்வேறு மாணவர்களினுடைய பெற்றோராக இருந்து இங்கே இணைந்திருக்கிறீர்கள். உங்கள் அனைவரையும் வருக வருக என வரவேற்பதில் பெருமகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். இன்றைய முதல் நிகழ்வு, இன்றைய நாளினுடைய நிகழ்வு இது துவங்குகிறது. நம்முடைய பேராசிரியர் முனைவர் ஐயா அவர்களினுடைய உரையை.
Thanks a lot, Subha. So thanks for the very lengthy introduction. So I think most of you are students here. Should the language be Tamil or should it be English? What do you prefer?
English.
Actually, it's the wish of the student.
English. I believe it's English because preferably, I think I find a lot of students. Are you so specific that should I go to Tamil? தமிழ்லயே வரணும்னு ஏதாவது கட்டாயம் இருக்கா இல்ல இங்கிலீஷ்லயே போயிருவோமா?
Not necessary, sir.
Very good. It's a very good feedback that you want it in English. Okay. So basically this session is all about skill. So what is skill actually? It is, in a way, we call it as value addition. You are here, when you become skilled in certain things, it means your value has increased. It is just like a company like Milky Mist, which perhaps would have sold milk Later got it converted to curd. Today they talk about flavored lassi. They just keep on adding the products, and whatever they add, we keep on buying. So once you add something to it, then it becomes this value addition is what we call as skill. So initially, when Parsi community they entered India, they went to a king and asked that we need a place to reside in. The king said, no, we don't have a place for you. So this man asked for a cup of milk. He added a little bit of sugar and gave it to him. He said, this is what we are going to do. This is the value addition that we are going to bring to your nation. So that is how the Parsi community came here. So this is all about skilling. So I am presently working in an area where everything is about skilling. We try to find out the skill gap, that too, a skill gap that exists across the country. And based on the skill gap that has been found out, we try to tailor make our courses to suit to the needs of the students. So we offer presently courses like logistics, airport operations, everywhere presently where there ought to be a lack of people. Moreover, companies nowadays provide a CSR, provide a major part of the CSR fund for skilling. They just give it to universities. Universities do the skilling part of the job. Companies do the payment. And this is how things work out. Okay. So we'll just go through. Actually, I was supposed to brief on all the skills. But I thought rather than going about everything, I'll just be very sharp. I just thought I will focus more on presentation skills rather than going about everything. So I will just touch upon many things. So there are so many skills, like we have leadership skills. We have critical thinking skill. We have so many things. Say conflict handling, say change management is a skill. Communication is a skill. Presentation is a skill. So you have got lots of skills. So we'll just go through these things. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Is my screen visible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So this is all about myself. Okay. So what do you see here? We'll have a very interactive session now. I just don't want to talk. That to being an evening after full day session. You can give me a little bit of leisure and so you can also talk. What is this? What do you see here? So I'm just expecting someone to talk. I think everyone has muted it. I think someone of you who wants to talk can unmute and talk. Maybe our system does not allow it, I believe.
Sure, sir. We will talk. We will discuss. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
definitely.
Actually, when you began to talk, I received a call. I couldn't hear that 1 or 2 minutes. Anyhow, it is interesting. Jigsaw puzzle you have started. Definitely, it is going to be an innovative program. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So, what is jigsaw puzzle?
Are you able to hear?
Have you all played with jigsaw puzzle?
I think it is different from the general puzzle. Okay.
Yes. So,
okay.
basically, I just want to talk about leadership.
Yes,
sorry, team building from this jigsaw.
Most needed thing.
Actually,
most needed thing.
Yeah, definitely it's a needed skill. Actually, we have to work as a team. So
Definitely, sir.
yes. So actually, wherever we are, we work as a team. Whatever small or big thing that we are involved, we are part of a team. So this is a jigsaw puzzle. So here you can see all the pieces. Let us assume these pieces as we are. So what do you learn about team building from here? So I'll just tell you, so I hope many of you would have seen a jigsaw puzzle. If you have not seen a jigsaw puzzle, maybe this might not be, you may not be able to understand. So this is a jigsaw puzzle. So here you can see that there are boundaries. So these are corner pieces. Maybe this figure is not complete. If you take a full jigsaw puzzle, there will be pieces that will be in the corner, that will be in the ends. So those pieces will always be at the end. Each piece plays a specific role. Look here. Even if you remove one piece, the picture will not be complete. So each piece has got its own role. Pieces are highly interconnected. Look here. Every piece is interconnected. No pieces alone. Only one piece is alone that disfigures the whole figure. Okay. So pieces are highly interconnected. Each piece is unique. Can you see? Each piece has got its own shape. No two pieces are alike. Every piece has got a shape of its own. If you take an actual jigsaw puzzle, this is only a center piece. So if you take an actual jigsaw puzzle, each piece will have its own shape. And the solution is fragile. If you lift the puzzle, the whole pieces will fall down. I'll again repeat. I think someone has to mute, or we can go for complete mute. Okay. So if you can see the jigsaw puzzle, you can understand that there are boundaries. Some pieces will be at the end, some pieces will be at the center. Every piece has got a specific role. These pieces are highly interconnected. Each piece is unique. The solution is fragile. So when we are part of the team, we will have some people who will work from preferably on an external role rather than an internal role. They'll be running around. There'll be some persons who will not run around. They'll sit and do the work. But everyone will have a specific role. There'll be some people who will be looking at the finance. There'll be some people who will look at the other kinds of role. And everyone is unique in nature. So we cannot move the same way with everyone. And the solution is a fragile one. The team is also like that. Anytime, anyone can break away from a team. The next one is the whole is better than the sum of its parts. If you take the puzzle, when you see the whole picture, it shows the image of a dog, it shows the image of a cat. So the whole is better than the sum of its parts. Some pieces are at the center, some at the periphery. So there'll be some pieces which has to be at the center. There'll be some pieces which has to be the periphery. So when you conduct a program, there'll be one member of your team who will sit on the stage. Can be unfortunate, but we have to accept it. There are natural groupings. In a jigsaw puzzle, one particular piece will be next to some particular piece, and these two cannot be separated. So inside a team, there'll be natural groupings. We have to accept it. Pieces need someone to move them. Unless someone moves it, you don't get the whole picture. So pieces need someone to move them. And rapid solution is aided by someone with an overall vision. This is what leadership is. When do you have leadership? When someone has got a vision. So what is vision? Okay, next point I'll come. So these are the learnings that we get from a jigsaw puzzle. You take a common jigsaw puzzle, you will understand what a team is. I hope you all have got a total idea of the 10 points. And now you all know what lesson on team building does a jigsaw puzzle teaches. So whenever I go to my class, on the first day of my class, I just asked my students to write 3 words on the last page of the notebook. The 3 words are mission, vision, and goal. So basically, I'm a teacher with business administration from Annamalai University. Actually, we have lots of endowments and all. So I tell you, on the first day of my class, I tell my students, please write 3 words, mission, vision, and goal on the last page of your notebook. What is mission? What I have to do today? If on the first day of my class, I tell my student, you write what I have to do today, probably I have to study every day. Probably I will take a textbook. Maybe I will take a textbook every week. So that is one part of my vision. My goal is short term. Something like I complete a book in a week. I complete a book in a fortnight. So that is what I call as goal. Vision, what I have to be at the end of 10th year. At the end of 10th year, I want to be someone at the top of a company. I want to be very successful. I want to start this entrepreneurship. At the end of 10 years, this is my turnover. So mission, vision, and goal. If you can do this on the first day of your college career, it will keep on changing. After 2 months, when you start your career, you will feel that at the end of 10 years, I should be in this particular kind of post. After 1 year, you have completed, all that would have gone. Now your dream, everything would have completely changed. No, that is not my thing. My vision now is this. Based on this vision, my goal will change. Based on this goal, my mission will change. We often tell students, focus on all the endowments. We have an endowment for the person who gets the highest mark in a particular paper. We have an endowment for the student who gets the highest mark in after 4 semesters. We have an endowment for a student who gets the first mark in the second semester. We have an endowment for the student who does not, who is not at all good in his studies, but who is supposed to be a very smart student, who would have been smart in all the other activities other than his academics. So we tell our students that you have some of these endowments as your, probably as your vision. So once you focus on the endowment itself, naturally you'll be a topper. Naturally you'll be smart in all activities, then you'll be successful. So the first point I talked to you was about team building skills. The second one I told you is mission, vision, and goal. These are, because I saw a lot of students, I'm just trying to move away from the skilling part, and I'm just trying to tell you to focus on certain things which will automatically add to your skill. However, here I touched upon one point called reading skill. I told you that one of your missions can be to complete a book within fortnight. So which means I'm touching upon the reading skill also. Okay, reading is one of the an undisputable skill. Someone who is good in reading, he'll be very successful. There is one more thing called as listening skill. The person who listens is supposed to be very successful. So if you have good listening skills and you have less talking skills, then you'll be very successful. If someone comes to you with a problem, the first thing is you have to listen it completely. So listening, that's very important. Okay. I'm just moving on to presentation. Probably this is something that is very much relevant to you. Mark Twain, one of the greatest writers, says that when he went for a lecture for the first time, his mouth was filled with cotton and his pulse was speeding like a horse that was moving for a prize cup. So his pulse was speeding. His mouth was, he got the feeling that he was filled with cotton. Okay. Probably most of you will be in this category. Many of us, when we were students, can be that there will be exceptionals like Subha, who are all born to talk in the stage. I used to wonder how these people can always talk but still, perhaps we are not at all gifted with that kind of talent, I do believe. Okay, so that is 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 maybe. So we have a good example of Mark Twain here. He says the first time he went to the stage, he suffered just like we are all going to suffer. We would have suffered, or you are all going to suffer, something like that. Okay, fine. Again, just because we are talking about Mark Twain, I just want to tell you something about Mark Twain. Mark Twain, once he went to a meeting. It was after a pandemic, not it was after a catastrophe. We can say, make use of the word catastrophe. Say something like a tsunami, long back, something that ravished his country. So there was an NGO. So the person at the helm of NGO, he said he was talking about the kind of good works that was done by his company, by his organization. So Mark Twain felt the need to give them a very good donation. Mark Twain looked at his pocket. He had $500 in his pocket. He checked with the next person next to him how much money he had. The other person said that he had more than $500. So Mark Twain said, you please give me $500. I'll give it to you as soon as we move out. So I want to give $1,000 to this NGO. So this person kept on talking. So after about half an hour, Mark Twain got bored. He said, you have your $500. For this man, the $500 that's in my pocket will do. So he reduced the amount from $1,000 to $500 because this man was keeping on talking. So after another half an hour, this man did not stop. Still the talking went on. So Mark Twain, he felt very bad. So he thought, I will just reduce it to $250. So from $1,000, the donation that he planned got reduced to $250. Still the talk went on. After another 1 hour, Mark Twain felt, this man, I'm not going to give him more than $100. Now the money got reduced to $100. So still the talk went on for a long time. Finally, after some time, the tray came to him. On this particular tray, you have to put the donation. So when the tray came to him, by the time he was so wild, he was so hungry, he was so bad, he was so bored, he had lost all the interest to give money to this organization. In his anger, he put his hand into the tray, collected all the money that he can get from the tray, took the money, put it in his pocket, and walked away. So the point I try to make here is time management. This is yet another wonderful skill, a skill that I never have. So time management is another beautiful skill which you would have learned from this small story. Okay. So dressing sense. God made Adam and Eve, but tailors make gentlemen and ladies. Okay, so only Adam and Eve was made by God, they say. Modern men are made by tailors. So what does it mean? So long back, some 15 years back, I had one particular boy who was my student. So the advice that we give to our students is that right from the first day, every day when you come to the class, you are supposed to dress just like you come for an interview. So every day we expect students as well as teachers. When they come to class, when they come to college, they are supposed to dress the same way you look dressed up when you go for an interview. So your interview dress is no different from the dress that you come for the class. Going to the interview or going to the class is all about coming out in a neat dress. That's all. It does not mean that you have to wear something special. You have to come very neat, in a very neat manner to that class. So this is the thing that we tell everyone. Of course, we have strong rules, which means students cannot dress in any kind of indecent manner when they come to the classroom. Even we even prohibit jeans and all. So we don't allow all those kinds of dresses. Decent shirt, decent pants. You have to wear a shoe. This is all about what you are being expected in an interview also. Girls also, we talk about decent dresses. That's it. Fine. So we had one boy who never, perhaps would have been very casual in his dressing to the class. Finally, on the date of his interview, he bought a new shirt, a new Louis Philippe, everything. He happily went to the interview. As soon as he sat in the interview panel, he saw that the interviewer was laughing whenever he saw him. He couldn't understand why this particular interviewer was laughing at him. Only after he came back from his interview, he knew that he had forgotten to remove the collar clip. Usually, when you buy a new shirt, you will have a collar clip here, a plastic rib that will provide support to the collar. So when you buy a shirt for the first time, you'll have all these problems. You often forget to remove all these things. So that was the reason why the interviewer was laughing. We had a girl, again the same problem with the girl. She too was quite casual when she came to the classes. Now for the interview, she bought a new sari. So she bought a new cotton sari, everything. So she went to the interview. Again, some of the interviewer panel people were not so comfortable while interviewing. So she happily answered. And only when she came out, people said that actually, while wearing a sari, actually here there was a bill which said that some Arsamarthu Kadai or some name, the name of the shop and the bill and the tag was here. So she completely forgot to remove the tag, being a new sari. So the tag was perfectly located here. And after coming out only, she knew that the shop tag was here. So if you daily go to your class in the dress you are supposed to go, you will have no problems. Okay, fine. So when in Rome, dress like the Romans. So this is a small change you will find as you shift from your college to your organization. Organizations have different kinds of dress codes. Colleges have different kinds of dress codes. So when in Rome, dress like the Romans. Okay. So now we move on to presentations. So how to make use of a podium? So whenever I find my students coming to present a seminar, they will just cling on to the podium as if their dear life hangs on that podium. They'll be so lovingly, so caringly, they will hold on to that podium. So basically, what I do is, whenever I start the seminar session, I remove the podium. Whether you fall down or not, you stand without a support of a podium. Okay. The podium should not be treated as a security blanket. Okay, fine. So what should you do? You should not use it as a barrier to separate you from your listener. So you should not allow the podium to come between you and the audience. Okay. So next point, you should have good eye contact with people. So being an online medium, presently you don't need to make any kind of eye contact. So otherwise, if it is an offline show, we should have we should be able to maintain an eye contact. What is eye contact? Eye contact means it is not continuously streaming across the entire population. You have to slowly ensure that you are equally at ease with everyone. Your eye should not be focused on one particular side. Okay. Speak directly to listeners. So that is why I thought I can interact with you, but online has got some issues while interacting. That's why we cannot have a truly interactive session, but we are supposed to speak directly to listeners and infuse a high level of vocal energy. So do nothing to dull your energy. Your energy has to be magnetic. And people cluster around the energetic speaker. So you have to be magnetic. Otherwise, people will lose interest in you. That is an example that I gave when I talked about the person from NGO who spoke for a few hours. Finally, he couldn't collect the money. Okay. So this is yet another specific skill that we separate from the presentation. Okay. How to handle questions. So in another 5 minutes, probably we can have the question session, because there I think we can have some interactions, meaningful interactions. So why should we have questioning? It is to add variety. If I can ask you to ask me questions, even people who are sleeping at the moment can wake up. Okay. So the purpose of the question session is to add variety to the session. Okay. Fine. So you have to have rules on when to have the question session. So these are some of the methods in which we can have the question session. So what should I do for the question session? I should call as many people as possible. So I should permit anyone who is interested to question me. And I should not allow anyone to answer more than one, to ask more than one question. Then it will become a one-to-one session. The session will lose its sheen. So I should make everyone to ask a question, not only one question. I should make everyone to ask a question. Keep your answers brief. I'm not supposed to give a lengthy answer. I have to be to the point. I'm not supposed to get into a discussion with a member of the audience. If someone wants to oppose my point of view, this is not the time to get into an argument. Okay. So, if I keep on talking with one person, the others in the audience will get a feeling of being left out. So, I cannot permit that. So, I cannot allow anyone to challenge or debate me when a session is going on. So, here is the technique, true technique of answering questions in a presentation session. So this is again a skill. Question answer. Handling question is a skill. It's a specific skill inside the presentation. So handling of the question session. Actually, this is something that is very useful for students when you have your seminars. In seminars, you might have a question answer session. If you are doing your PhDs, in your Viva, there'll be a lot of questions. So this is the method that you have to follow when they ask a question. When someone asks you a question, you have to repeat the question. You have to wait 3 seconds, then repeat the question. You ask me a question, what is time management? I have to again repeat, the question is on time management. Or what is time management? So why should I repeat the question? When I repeat the question, I get the time to think. Second, I am facing the audience. Whereas if someone from the first bench asks me the question, everyone will be behind the man at the first bench. So no one else it is not audible to the people at the back. And it is also not an etiquette to talk with your back to the audience. So we don't allow the person in the first row to come to the stage to ask the question. So naturally, it will not be audible. So I repeat the question. When I repeat the question, what happens is that the attention shifts from the questioner to the speaker. So again, I regain the attention. The person who asked the question has lost his attention. So again, the attention remains with the speaker. And when I repeat the question, I'll be only repeating the question. Deep within me, I'll be thinking about the answer for the question. I get another 3 to 4 seconds to think. That will provide me a 3-second gap plus 5 seconds for questioning, 8 seconds. These 8 seconds I will utilize to find the answer for the question. Okay, so these are the simple tips that you should know when you handle a question session in a presentation. Actually, I'm nearing the end time. So I think I'll be stopping by about 7:50. The session is still 8 p.m. I believe. So we'll have 10 minutes of discussion. I think that will be better. Subha, it's 7 to 8. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then I have just 3 more minutes. Okay.
Okay.
When you are making a presentation, there are 3 things that you have to be very careful when you are doing a public speech. The first one is pitch. The second one is pace. The second one is pass. There are 3 things in 3 components of your speech that you should know: pitch, pace, and pass. What is pitch? You all know something called do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In Tamil, we call it as sari, gamma, pada, ni, sa. What is the difference between sa and re? What is the difference between re and da? What is the difference between da and ma? It is a note. A note that is 1 note higher. Sa to sa, we call it as an octave. Do to do, we call it as an octave. So, between sa and re, there is a gap of 1 note. So when you talk, your speech cannot be a monotone. Your pitch should keep on varying. Otherwise, it will be very boring. You will end up with a very dull presentation. So always make a check if your pitch is varying. So that's very important. Second thing is pace. When you tell something that is well known to the audience, you have to be fast. When you tell something that is new to the audience, you have to be very slow. You would have seen that when I talk to you, the last slide, repeating the question, I was very slow. I also repeated it a second time because I felt that that is a new trick which you might be learning. So second thing is pace, pitch, pace. Third thing is pass. If I want to teach something new, I'm keeping on talking to you. I'll just wait for 2 seconds. These 2 seconds or 3 seconds, I might not talk anything to you. Then I will talk. So one of the best examples for pass is a song from the Rajinikanth star Padayappa. You would have seen a film called Padayappa. There is a song called Kiki Erudhe. In that song, there'll be a 2 or 3 seconds gap. Then there will be a powerful line, Jadi Chandai, Mother Chandai, something like that. It is supposed to be a very powerful line. So before the start of this line, you would have seen a 2 to 3 second gap. Then this powerful line will stop. Had you been sleeping during that song, suddenly when there is a break, you would have all woken up. And when you wake up, you will wake up to that line, Jadi Chandai, Mother Chandai, something like that. It just goes on like that. Okay. So, this is the importance of pass. So always see that when you go for a public speech, you always have these 3 components: pitch, pace, and pass. So we have a lot of other skills like critical thinking. We have a lot of exercises for team building, everything. There is something called change. Change in itself is not a skill, but when you are skilled, you tend to get changed. I'll just bring in a small story. There were lots of people bathing near a falls. The water from the falls was flowing into a pool. It was flowing, so everyone was bathing in the pool and everything like that. Suddenly, one little boy got stuck inside the pool. Everyone shouted, save him, but no one dared to get into the pool. It was something like a whirl. So no one wanted to take a risk. Suddenly, out of nowhere, an old man jumped. He almost lost his life, but finally he managed to save the boy. Finally, the old man also came. Then everyone ran to the old man and asked him, why did you risk your life? Why did you jump into that pool of water? The old man said, I'm just searching for the fellow who pushed me in. So you just get pushed into a change when you are skilled. So skilling is something that will push you to a change. So with these words, I would like to open the session for discussion. So you can ask me questions on whatever I taught or whatever you feel you need to be answered by someone from management department. So you can ask me questions either on these kinds of skills that I taught or from my area management. Okay, you can just ask me questions because I should give you an opportunity to talk. Otherwise, this will end up as a failure session. Yeah, you can just ask. You can just ask me questions. If there are questions,
thank you, sir. Sir, 1 minute, please. Sir,
okay.
please 1 minute. Sir, it was
Okay,
a
thank you very
wonderful session.
if there are questions, you can also post in the chat. I think Subha can answer.
Sir,
Sir,
there are
Veeraraghavan sir, kindly wait for 2 minutes, please. Allow me to speak. I want to just share my feedback as formally. So it was a very wonderful and very informative session, sir. In Tamil Ilakkanam, in Sanga Ilakkiyam, in Tamil Sanga Ilakkiyam, Avaya said Vittai Palagu, like that. The slogan was said by Avaya. Each and every student have to need to know the presentation skills. You had expressed your words in a very friendly way, and the way you had separated the topic was very the first lecture. 1 second.
Subha, I think
The dressing sense.
put it
And
in
then,
the chat. That will make it easy, I believe.
Okay, sir. So, students, do you want to ask any questions? Means kindly post in the chat box, or do you want to share your ask your question? Means you just unmute yourself and talk after completing my feedback. So be prepared for that. And then the dressing sense and the usage of podium, that was very interesting. So many people are using the podium to manage their fear or manage their ego, to express the words like that. Most of the people used the podium. You just explained the words very well, and then you had expressed that the very important tip that you need to talk the known matter in the fast way, and you need to talk the unknown matter in the slow way. You need to give fast for the very important message like that. You had given the example from Padayappa movie. That was very interesting. Thank you so much for the session, sir. And we are moving to the question session. Students, do you want to ask question? Means நீங்க வந்து தமிழ்லயும் பேசலாம். நமக்கு வந்து கம்யூனிகேஷன் ஸ்கில் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதை இன்டியூஸ் பண்றதுக்காக தான் வந்து இங்க இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசப்படுது. So do you want to talk in Tamil? Means சார் நோ வெரி வெல். தமிழ் வந்து சாருக்கு நல்லா தெரியும். அழகான தமிழ் பேசுறவரு ஐயா வந்து நாகர்கோயில்காரரு. அதனால நீங்க தைரியமா தமிழ் பேசலாம் சார் கிட்ட. வீரராகவன் சார், உங்களுடைய ஃபீட்பேக்கையோ இல்ல வந்து நீங்க ஷேர் பண்ணலாம் சார்.
Okay, thank you, ma. Thank you for the opportunity. First time attending. I have to appreciate wholeheartedly Dr. Frank Sunil Justice sir. Very simple, very interesting, needed for everybody, not only students. I am also an 28 years experienced person in this field. Still, I enjoyed, I loved it. Hats up to you, sir.
Thank you.
One
Thanks a lot,
last
sir.
one I never heard. I have listened to more than 400 seminars in this pandemic period, 450. But this idea is quite new to me. How to ask questions, how that the people should answer for it, how it reach the audience and all. This is a new idea I got from you. Next time, if I be the chief guest, if somebody asks, I will repeat the question and then answer for them. Okay, sir. Thank you. It's a novel idea. Yes, even when we are sitting in the back, we are not sure who asked the question, what for is this gentleman is answering or the chief guest and all. It's a very novel idea. Really, it has to be applied in all the seminars. Really, that shows your experience. You have opted very novel and new ideas, especially that the 3 P's, pass, pace, and the another one is pitch. Really, you explained in an effective way. I have to thank the skill developer madam also. She already told a lot of things. She has given a wonderful feedback. I am very happy to participate. Once again, I improved or going to the next level of my learning. I feel extremely happy about it. Actually, I wish more number of participants, especially the youth, to come, listen, benefit, and succeed in their life. Once again, thank you, sir. Frank Sunil, sir. Thank you very much. Hats up.
Sir, thanks a lot for your wonderful words, sir. It was really nice to hear a very good feedback from your part. I'm extremely thankful that you are able to stay with us.
Sure, sir. It's real only. It is not for words' sake. It's real. From the heart of me, I'm telling. Okay? Very
Thanks,
good. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, வீரராகவன் சார். சார் வந்து ஸ்போக்கன் இங்கிலீஷ் ட்ரைனரா இருக்காங்க கோயம்புத்தூர்ல. மாணவர்கள், பல்வேறு மாணவர்கள், பல ஆயிரக்கணக்கான மாணவர்களை சந்திச்சவங்க. சார் வந்து எவ்வளவு எளிமையா ஒரு பக்கத்துல இருக்கிற நண்பனை ஊக்குவிக்கிறது போல சொல்ற மாதிரி இருந்தது. தேங்க்யூ சோ மச் சார்.
Even last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did a 3 days program in a private college in Coimbatore, continuously only about speaking, reading, and writing. Thank you, ma. Only about that particular topic, I took up 1 day class, especially about speaking means.
நம்ம ஸ்பீடால பெரிய நம்மளும் பேசுவோம், தொடர்ந்து பேசுவோம், நிறைய விஷயங்கள் பேசுவோம். கம்யூனிகேஷன். சந்தோஷம், நன்றி. வேற யாராவது குழந்தைங்க பேச விரும்புறீங்களா? மாணவர்கள் பேச விரும்புறீங்கன்னா நீங்க உங்களுடைய கேள்வி எதையாவது கேட்கலாம். இன்றைக்கு எனக்கு பர்சனல் சாட்ல ஒருத்தவங்க மெசேஜ் பண்ணிருந்தாங்க சார் வாட்ஸ்அப்ல. ஸ்பீக்கிங் ஸ்கில் பத்தி வந்து கண்டிப்பா பேசணும், ஒரு செக்ஷன் ஃபுல்லா பண்ணணும் பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு. அது தெரிஞ்சாதான் கம்யூனிகேஷனை பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கான கான்பிடன்ஸ் வரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒருத்தவங்க மெசேஜ் பண்ணிருந்தாங்க இந்த போஸ்டரை போட்ட உடனே. இன்னைக்கு அது தொடர்பாவும் நீங்க அழகா டச் பண்ணிருந்தீங்க அந்த விஷயத்தையும். ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி சார். அது என்னவோ சொல்லாமலே அமைஞ்ச மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி.
And there was one thing there was one word that I completely left out. I do not know how I left out. That was on communication. Communication skill is a wonderful skill. I straight away jumped to presentation without touching on communication. That is another skill. Maybe in future we will touch upon all those things.
Sure, sir.
Is there anything coming from students? Any kind of doubts or anything? Any specific?
சரண்யா அப்படின்றவங்க கை உயர்த்திருக்காங்க. சரண்யா பேசுறீங்களா?
நீங்க
சரண்யா
chat feedback link யூஸ் பண்ணானா எப்படி உங்களுக்கு போட்டுருவாங்க இன்னும் 5 நிமிஷத்துல. ஏன்னா நானே எப்படியும் கிளம்பிடுவேன் அதுக்குள்ள, கவலைப்படாதீங்க. So is there any kind of doubt, especially if there are management students? நீங்க எதுல வேணாலும் கேட்கலாம்.
சொல்லுங்க சாய் சரண், சொல்லுங்க என்ன டவுட் சொல்லுங்க. அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு பேசுங்க. சாய் சரண்.
Okay Subha, I think
okay, no problem. சாய் சரண் சார், நம்ம இந்த செஷன் கன்க்ளூட் பண்ணிக்கலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஆக்சுவலி இது இன்ட்ரோடக்டரி செஷன் அப்படிங்கறதுனால இதுக்கு ஃபீட்பேக் லிங்க் எதுவும் இல்ல. அதனால நெக்ஸ்ட் செஷன்ல இருந்து நமக்கு சர்டிபிகேட்ஸ் இருக்கு. கண்டிப்பா தொடர்ந்து நிகழ்ச்சிகள்ல பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்றவங்களுக்கு இந்த 21 ஸ்கில்ஸ் முடிஞ்சதும் கண்டிப்பா அவங்களுக்கு சர்டிபிகேட்ஸ் இருக்குது. 21 டேவும் அவங்க ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிருக்கணும். அதனால நம்ம நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக்ல இருந்து கண்டிப்பா தொடர்ந்து நம்ம சர்டிபிகேட்ஸ் பத்தி நம்ம பேசலாம். ஸ்கில் டெவலப்பரினுடைய சர்டிபிகேட் உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கும். தேங்க்யூ சோ மச். வெவ்வேறு ஊர்களில் இருந்து வெவ்வேறு பள்ளி கல்லூரி அப்படின்னு வெவ்வேறு தளங்களில் இருந்து இங்க நிறைய மாணவர்கள் வந்திருந்தாங்க. உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி. அது மட்டும் இல்லாம பேராசிரியர்கள் வந்திருக்காங்க, நண்பர்கள் வந்திருக்காங்க, பெற்றோர்களாக இருந்து பெற்றோர்களாக இருந்திருந்தாலும் அவங்களுக்கு இந்த தகவல் அனைத்தும் மிகவும் பயனுள்ளதாக இருந்திருக்கும். தன்னுடைய குழந்தைகள் கிட்ட தன்னுடைய பிள்ளை கிட்ட எந்த திறமை இருக்கு, அவங்களுக்கு என்னத்தை அதிகப்படுத்தணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஊக்கத்தையும் ஒரு வழிகாட்டுதலையும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி கொடுத்திருக்கோம் அப்படிங்கறத நம்புறோம். So thank you so much for the wonderful cooperation, students and parents. Thank you so much sir. ரொம்ப அழகா இந்த செஷனை வெரி இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிவா ரொம்ப அழகான ஒரு பிரசன்டேஷனோட உங்களோட அந்த மைல்டான வாய்ஸ்ல எங்களுக்கு கேட்கும் போது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியா இருந்தது, ரம்யமா இருந்தது. தேங்க்யூ சோ மச் ஃபார் தி செஷன் சார்.
நிகழ்ச்சியோட ஒரு கிளாரிபிகேஷன் கேட்கலாமா? ஒரே ஒரு கிளாரிபிகேஷன்
கேளுங்க சார்.
ஆல் தி 21 டேஸ் இல்ல ஆல் தி 21 டேஸ் சார் பேசுவாரா இல்ல வேற யாராவது பேசுவாங்களா இல்ல டிஃபரண்ட்? ஓகே தெரியாது. அது கேட்க டே 1ன்னு வரதுனால சாரே டிஃபரண்ட் டைப்ஸ்ல பேசுறால அது வேற யாராவது பேசுறாங்களான்னு கேட்டேன்.
சார் ஆல்ரவுண்டர் தான் சார். களத்துல இறக்கி விட்டுருவோம், திடீர்னு இறக்கி விட்டுருவேன் சார்.
அவர் கண்டிப்பா பண்ணுவார் மேடம். We will become a follower. அவ்வளவுதான். ஓகே, ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் மேடம்.
Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
Thanks a lot Subha. So thank you one and all for being with us in this session. Thanks a lot.